Good morning. So I am on the side of a very busy road this morning, but as you can see, the conditions are really foggy, and I've got to take advantage of these conditions because they don't happen all the time, and the fog seems to be only been happening during the week. And I've had to drive past this tree that you've just seen so many times in these conditions, just ruining having to have a day job. So here I am, I'm going to shoot it. So it's Sunday morning, it's like 7 AM. But we're going to take advantage of what we have here. So I've driven past this tree a bunch of times. And I thought it would make a good part of a series of photos I've taken a few times now, especially in the fog. So it's sort of a lone tree in the fog series. If you follow me on Instagram, and you should, links in the description, you'll have seen a few foggy tree photos, probably from earlier in the year. And I thought this would probably go really nicely with that series. So we are shooting today with my Fuji GFX100S. And the whole idea is I'm going to compose this tree probably in the lower third. Put that 2-second timer on. Now, I'm probably going to preview this in black and white, just to get an idea, because I know I'm going to process this in black and white. So we'll put it on Fuji's at-cross setting. Shoot for, I don't know, probably f11. ISO 100. That's going to give us a shutter speed, I reckon a 1/13 of a second. Just really struggling to focus in the fog here. So I might have to do that manually actually. We'll punch in. So that's one shot. I might just actually switch lens to the 35 to 70 just for a slightly wider shot, but this shot probably on screen now. Okay, 35 to 70 on, so I'm probably going to shoot at about 70 mils, but I really want that slightly wider perspective. May actually have to crop this in slightly from 70, but we'll take that shot too. Again, that is really struggling to focus. Give that a little bit of helping hand and manual focus. So the way I'm composing this, I'm putting that tree right at the bottom third. I'm really liking that composition at the moment with everything sort of right at the bottom there. Really gives the fog a lot of the negative space, and it just shows the depth and the just vastness of the fog. Ordinarily, if it wasn't foggy, we'd be seeing quite a lot of just shit behind the tree. So there we go, same settings, f11, 1/13 of a second, ISO 100. couldn't help myself. Another tree. Saw this one on the way to the last spot, but this one actually has quite an interesting shape. So why not shoot it while we're here? Probably leave the 35 to 70 on for this guy, but I'm thinking a panorama actually. So I do the old 65 by 24 crop. Yes, definitely. Probably a similar composition with that tree sort of towards the lower part of the frame. But also a busy road by the sounds of it. Gonna have to speed that shutter speed up slightly just because we are effectively shooting into the sun here. But I think our focus will actually work this time, our autofocus. 2-second timer again. Yep, definitely like that pano. We'll take the same composition as the last tree, just for good measure. We'll put it in 4x5. Ooh. Here come the locals. Hopefully they're not going to throw bottles at me or anything like that. No, they're off. Very good. So, 4x5 again, tree down in that lower third. Still in the at-cross film simulation. And there we go. So, if we come away with anything today, it's at least a couple of trees in the fog. Now, onto that little woodland. I will admit I was hoping the fog would be a little bit thicker. It seems to have dissipated since we left those last few trees about half an hour ago. But we have a little bit of mist, a little bit of diffusion in the distance here. So I've set the camera up, f11, quarter of a second, ISO 100. Used the Velvia film sim this time, just because the Fuji greens are delicious. So let's push on. Well, as you can see, the flow is pretty extreme. This is actually the biggest flow I've ever seen here, and it's pretty treacherous to get down below where I've taken photos before, so I'm not sure I'm willing to sort of risk my knees and my gear to get down there. So we'll try and shoot from up here and see what we can get. What I'm probably going to do is put the 100 to 200 on and just pick out details. This flow is just too chaotic to really sort of capture the whole thing. The colour of the water is actually quite gross too, so I might actually shoot this in black and white. It's really sort of a browny, greeny, diarrhea sort of colour. So yeah, we'll pick out some details and see what we can get. All right, come here. All right, how you can see I have it composed here is we've got these falls off to the right here. I made sure to include this little sort of branch that's not quite mated over. Might actually put this into black and white like I said before. And yeah, see where we go. Unfortunately I didn't bring the adapter ring for that lens for me to put my filters on, so we're just going to have to suck it up and see what sort of shutter speed we can get. A fifth of a second is usually pretty good, so we got around there anyway. We're not getting any highlight warnings. There's a few there, so I'll expose this as bright as I can and try and recover any highlights that I need to. Exposing to the right of the histogram as far as you can without clipping highlights is generally the way to go, because then you have all of the shadow detail to deal with. So let's fire this off. We'll try what shutter speeds that will allow me to get without any filters, and yeah, if it turns out any good, it'll be up on the screen now. Not bad, not bad. I might actually just put this into panorama mode. Might suit that aspect ratio, but
Unfortunately, I need to be wider, so let's throw the 35-70 onto that. Now, of course, the 35-70 still has the polarizer on it from earlier, so that's really cool. So we'll be able to polarize this as well. This is actually a weird feature of this lens. It's collapsible, so you have to open it up before you can use it. So, odd feature of this lens is it makes it nice and light and compact, but yeah, sort of a weird one. I wish this lens had an aperture ring. That would be really ideal, but it's their kit lens for the system, so they're just trying to keep costs down. So I'm going to have to pull that polarizer off. Let's have another look. Oh yeah, there we go. So we bring that up. Let's bring you closer. That's not a bad wee pano. I might just use this tree here just to frame the edge of the waterfall. I mean, I am previewing it in black and white, but that's not baked in, so I can redo this in colour if I need to. But we're at 1/3 of a second, f11. We'll throw the polarizer on and just see how it really darkens up that water there. So it thickens that contrast up. So I might just open the aperture just a tad to compensate for that filter. So I really want to keep that shutter speed around that 1/3, 1/4, 1/5 of a second. So if that's turned out any good, that's up on the screen now. So I might just quickly adjust that composition just to encompass all of that waterfall in the frame. Try and remove as much of that distraction of that tree to the right. We'll try this one too. Really liking this panorama format though for this waterfall, because there's not a lot of stuff up the top and it's just all white along the bottom. So that doesn't really add much to the frame, so we'll keep it nice and panoramic like this. So we're at f8, 1/5 of a second this time. Let's just double check that polarization. Pretty happy with that where it is, and away we go. Yeah, I quite like that actually. See what else we can shoot from the other side. Not actually sure we're going to be able to get much from over here, because this shrub here really getting in the way. Not a whole lot of detail to be shot there, so might just move on from this spot and see what we've got further up the trail. This tree here has fallen across the river. We've had a pretty horrific winter with the wind and rain this year, so they've probably had to rebuild this trail a few times, I imagine. I think there's a shot here. I was kind of hoping to get a nice view down there, but that tree really gets in the way, and up here gets in the way too, unfortunately. Moving on. Now this clip was a very heartfelt thank you for watching to the end of the video, but due to the unique way my brain works, I forgot to turn my mic back on. Yeah, I know. Anyway, if you did make it this far, thank you so much for watching. It is much appreciated. Please consider subscribing and hitting the like button and leaving a comment. It really does help the channel out a lot. See you all in the next video.